All I learned from Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1 is that Liverpool are quite comfortably going to retain the Premier League title this year. And really, it's a shame. It's a real shame. I think from today, I don't think Arsenal are quite there just yet as of this moment. And City don't have the squad. They don't have the depth at the minute. I think Arsenal are closer in terms of who can fight Liverpool right until the end. But again, bro, Arteta, for me, the squad selection was wrong today. He started with a midfield three of Merino, Zubimendi, Rice. Let's just begin there. Let's begin at the squad selection from Arteta. He went in naive. He went in with, in my opinion, with the mentality to not risk too much. But to win a league title, you have to take risks. You have to go toe to toe, head to head, fight until the very end. And Merino, Zubimendi, Rice, to me, screams I didn't try and lose the game. That's it. I want to just get a point from this game. I don't want to lose against Man City. Fair enough, okay? You can say what you want. Him against Liverpool, the squad selection, but this is different. You're at home against a Man City team that isn't as good as Liverpool at all, and you need to win. Now you're 5 points behind Liverpool. It's going to be tough. Merino, Zubimendi, Rice. There's no creativity in that midfield. There's no creative spark with Trossard and Madueke out wide. I thought Madueke had a good first half, and I understand why Saka didn't start. He just returned from injury, and he looked sharp when he came off the bench. Trossard on the left, again, we'll talk about. But for me, Eze needed to start from minute one. Whether that be in the advanced 8 row or off the left in that Trossard position, it doesn't matter. Wherever on the football pitch, Eze needed to start. And you saw the level that was raised in that Arsenal team, the intensity, the creative spark when Eze came onto the pitch. Not only did he get a beautiful assist to Gabriel Martinelli, by the way, almost in that deep line playmaker role, in that Pirlo role, that over-the-top through ball, which was a stunning assist. But he has the capability and the ability to pick out these passes, to break the lines with his intelligent balls, to break the lines. And Merino doesn't have that. Rice always has to play. He's the box-to-box man. He's the engine. Zubimendi sits. But Merino offers physical presence. He offers a box threat, whether that be from corners or free kicks. We know Arsenal are very effective and good at both. But, bro, his feet are nothing like Eze's. He's not a creative player at all. He doesn't have a great final pass. He doesn't have great vision. He doesn't have a great... He has a good strike, to be fair. But in terms of his finishing, it's not on the same wavelength as Eze's. Nothing to discredit Merino. But going into a game like this, bro, Eze has to start. Trossard off the left. I didn't think he was excellent, but Martinelli, after the performance he put in the Champions League and today, he's probably going to want that position back. And with Odegaard out, you could play Eze in the advanced 8 and Martinelli on the left, who took his goal beautifully, by the way. That Martinelli finish was absolutely stunning. Yes, the defence from City, complete lapse in judgment between the two centre-halves. I believe it was Gvardiol and Diaz in that frame. But, bro, to take that on your right foot over Donnarumma, who's like 6'6", 6'7", that's not an easy finish at all. He took it really well. Also on that goal, question marks on Donnarumma. I think he's an incredible keeper, the best in the world. He was that last season. But stay on your line. If you stay on your line, the angle becomes harder for Martinelli. Because yes, he doesn't have the ability to chip you, but he's forced to go on his left foot against you. And the ball's going away from goal. It's going towards the corner flag. So I think Donnarumma made a mistake there. Anyway, the performance was completely oxymoronic from Arsenal in the first half and the second half. It was completely juxtaposed. It was like Jekyll and Hyde, Batman and Superman, I don't know, DC, Marvel, me, and an Inter. I don't know. But the performance was completely different. There's no point even comparing the two because when Eze came on, when Saka came on, when, I don't know, Martinelli came on, the urgency was increased. The creative spark was there. The effectiveness in the final third. And City were really struggling to create transitional counterattacks. They were struggling to create chances. They were struggling to even get a sniff of the ball. They only had one chance really where Haaland could have played it to Foden and it could have been game over there. But that was it. The second half was all Arsenal. And if you're looking at the second half, Arsenal deserved to get something from it. But then if you consider the first half, I would say Arsenal overall were quite fortunate. I thought City played a better game. And now I want to touch upon City because this Guardiola style of play that we've been so used to over the past decade or so has completely changed. His son, let's call him, his footballing son in Arteta, has adopted this possession-based football. This ball retention football compared to, obviously, the likes of Guardiola at Barcelona, Guardiola at City. Similar styles of play. But today, Pep almost was like a Mourinho. And it was poetic to see. because Pep had a deep line up until the goal. For some strange reason, the defense wanted to have a highlight, whatever. They were deep in a low block and they would hit you in transition. But this City team is built to hit teams in transition. It's a transition-based team. It's not a possession-based team that we've seen from Manchester City over the past 5-6 years. It's not that anymore. A lot of the players that were elite at that have either left City or are not as good anymore. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, who was the best midfielder in the world at the time, who could kill teams with his line-breaking passes, his incredible vision, his final ball of the highest caliber. They don't have that anymore. Bernardo Silva's dropped off. They've lost the likes of Julian Alvarez as a backup striker. They've lost the likes of Gundogan. They've lost Rodri last year to an ACL tear. Now he's just come back into the team. They've lost a lot in this team. They've lost to John Stones, who was so comfortable on the ball at the back, who would invert into the midfield. It's not the same City team. Now they really have to utilise their strength and their biggest assets, which are speed in the attack, physicality in the attack. That's the main two outlets, which are for me Doku and Haaland. I'm looking at Doku and Haaland as the two main players in this City team when it comes to the final third. Foden has improved in the last few games, but I'm still looking at Doku and Haaland as the main two. We'll start on Doku. Doku is the perfect transition winger. He's quick, he's got ridiculous feet, he's direct. He's very intelligent when it comes to his dribbles. He makes the correct dribble most times. His final ball needs work on and his strike needs to be refined, let's say. But this season, he's been very good. I believe he has 3 goal contributions in 6 games now, which is a good return. And today, he was one of the best players on the pitch. He didn't get a goal or an assist, but he was a continuous threat, especially for Timber on the right. And Timber is a very good one-on-one defender. For me, arguably the best one-on-one fullback in the world right now. And Doku was causing him a lot of issues. Then you have Foden, who's just an intelligent player. But again, like Foden needs to change his game. He's not going to have as many touches on the ball. He's not going to have as much time on the ball as he used to in the past 3-4 seasons, as I said. But then you got Haaland. And I want to dedicate quite some time on Erling because I think he's easily one of the best strikers of all time already. And he is one of the best transition strikers ever. And I think he's the best transition striker I've ever seen in my life. When you go back, let's flash back to Erling's time at Dortmund. Dortmund weren't a possession-based team. They were a counter-attacking team back then, with the likes of Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, obviously Erling Haaland, Marco Reus, those kind of players at the time. So we had already seen Erling Haaland in an elite level standard, in a transition-based team, where he was super effective. He was a goal-scoring machine. Then he comes to Manchester City in a possession-based football, wins the treble, where he's more of a box threat. His movement in the box, his positional awareness, his ability to sort of get away from defenders who would mark him man-to-man or mark him zonally. It wasn't really an issue for Erling Haaland. He would kill them regardless. And now he's back to that transition form. And I believe we've seen 2 world-class versions of him, goal-scoring phenomenon in both worlds, but I believe that his best form is when it comes to transition football. He's already scored 13 goals this season and it's September, and today that goal sums up Erling Haaland perfectly. The guy is super fast, he's ridiculously strong, he's built like a freak, literally like the Giannis of football almost. He's 6'4". Imagine him running at you with pace and power, with the likes of Doku, Foden running off him, Reinders picking out the balls. It's a tough day for any defence, and this Arsenal team is arguably the best defence in Europe right now. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, or Skelly on the left. That is an elite level defence. And Saliba and Gabriel had to double up on Haaland today, and both of them suffered massively. Haaland was incredible. Gabriel, I thought, was really poor, and Gabriel was at fault for the goal. Haaland's playmaking in that move was very smart. It was very good. But there, Gabriel's come out to defend him man-to-man. But you have to hit him. You have to take Haaland out in that position. He kind of went half-hearted, showed him a bit of respect, kind of just to let Erling know he's there. And it wasn't really a big threat because it was in City's half. But Haaland is intelligent. He's flicked the ball round the corner. So now you got Gabriel out of position. Calafiori's advanced in that position, so he's out of position. You only have Saliba and Timber in the defensive phase. And you got Reinders, Doku, Haaland, all countering you. So you're outnumbered. Reinders is slowing it down. He's running with the ball, but at a slow pace to let Haaland recover. And Gabriel doesn't have the speed to be able to catch up with a Haaland. That's why he needed to foul him and take Haaland out in that situation. And it was a great ball from Reinders. Haaland timed his run perfectly. And I knew it was a goal. When I saw Gabriel out of position, I said, yeah, it's a goal. And Haaland is never going to miss that chance. But Haaland in a transition-based football is one of the scariest versions of any football on planet Earth right now. It's impossible it's impossible. You have to hit him. I think Nesta said this in an interview. Someone asked Nesta, how would you defend him? Would you struggle against Haaland? How would you defend him? He said he didn't think he'd struggle because he went up against a phenomenal who was a different level. Completely agree. But he said you hit him. You hit him. You let him know he's there. This is where you have to do old school defending. None of this zonal marking. Zonal marking against Haaland is impossible. You're cooked. You're finished. You hit him. You let him know you're there. There, Gabriel would have taken a yellow. But it would have saved them a very dangerous counter-attack, which led to a goal anyway. But defending Haaland is tough, bro. Very, very tough. I thought Reinders was very good as well. Got the assist today, but just an intelligent midfielder. Again, not a Pedri, not a dictator of the game, but moves the ball quickly. His final pass is very good. A good goal scorer, number 8 as well. I think he's a great addition to this team. But I'm looking at this City team. The defence isn't great. I think Arsenal, if they had played an Eze from the start, they could have easily won this game. I think a lot of room for improvement for City, but I do like the fact that Pep has reformed his style of play and changed it into this transition-based model, which I think is a lot more suited to the players they have, and they will see success from it this season. I think they'll have a much better season than last year. But again, Arteta, a bit naive with his squad selection, a bit naive with the team he fielded, which is a bit of a shame. I do believe Liverpool right now are still the favourites to win the league, but not a great game of football, if I'm being honest. I think it had a lot of great moments, but the overall play, it wasn't incredible. It was one of the weaker Arsenal Cities I think we've seen in the last few years. The stay humble derby, as Erling would call it, and Haaland sort of came out on top despite the fact that it was a draw. But yeah, not really much to say. Arsenal really going forward, and they need to be braver with their squad selections, braver from the start. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think about the game, boys? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on notifications, like the video, share it around, and I'll see you in the next one.